you want to get started? This is a little bit about Mark for the people who don't know. He is like one of the best physicians I know, and because of him, I'm here doing this practice. So
yeah, atrial fibrillation is really, it's an interesting, funky experience, I think, and we could ask people to talk about it, because experiencing it is a different thing. That whole thing of fibrillating, as opposed to kind of the main goal of life is peace and calmness, and fibrillating is an interesting, weird feeling, and some people feel it. Some people feel it in their heart. Some people feel it in their head. You could call it mental fibrillation, because it makes us scattered and not feel grounded. So anyway, but I think, this is the modern age, and there's lots of really good medical ways to take care of it, and surgical ways even, which Pratiksha can talk about. But basically, it means that the top part of the heart is fibrillating, and then how the bottom part of the heart responds to that top part of the heart being a bit chaotic tells a lot of the story and tells a lot of what the symptoms are. But there's lots of things that can cause it. And I think the biggest thing, and I think what a big part of the goal of this talk is to just know that it is very manageable, and not only just manageable, but fixable, and natural ways can be really, really, really helpful. And I think part of it is looking deeper into each individual's story, and what's their sleep like, and what's their emotional status like, and what are they thinking about, and what's happening truly in their heart. So there is a whole big medical thing, and there really is a beautiful healing path that can come from it. I've just seen it many times happen, and I know, if you read about it on the internet or on AI or all those things, it can be quite a daunting, overwhelming thing. And I do just believe it's another path to healing. And I guess I'm going to leave it to Pratiksha to talk about those ways, but I always like to talk about it. There's really incredible supplements that can be helpful. Magnesium is the magic mineral and helps with Afib, helps prevent it, helps make it better once it's happened. There's so many good things to do, and I guess I'll turn it over to Pratiksha, but I'm available to talk about it, and I really think the great message, or the true message of this talk, is that it's workable and healable. So Pratiksha, you tell them what you got.
Some of you who are meeting me for the first time, my origin is from India. I did my MD in Mumbai, and I think I consider myself like a maverick in medicine. I don't know how many of you like Top Gun and Tom Cruise. He does all crazy things. So what happened is that I was a hospital owner, and every case which will be thrown away by the cardiologist, and they will say that nothing can be done, go and die, I like to pick up those cases and then work with lifestyle medicine and healing and all. So my journey has been more than 20 years into preventative cardiology. And for last 10 years, I'm in US working with different cardiologists. And finally, I found Mark in 2023, where we decided to start authentic practice. Now, what do we mean by that? That the traditional cardiology is reactive, waits for symptoms. We wanted to, it's not a clinic, but what we are working here is like a movement of we as practitioners and the people whom we want to work with and share our knowledge with, who wants to break free from the standard sick care model and take responsibility for their own health. Because more than 80% of the people are waiting for the doctor's orders and following, and it just leads to procedures. So this talk is for the people, some of you are already I'm working with. This talk is mainly geared to people who will be wanting to take an action. So we are going to share certain things with you. It's a very big topic. It's not something which I can cover in 20-25 minutes, but I would like to a little bit give a background of atrial fibrillation. What does it exactly mean? We all know it is like not a good rhythm, but we have four chambers in our heart, and the upper chambers is known as atrium, and it literally like it just like keeps on fibrillates like this. It is like it becomes fast like this, like this, like this. So it is like an abnormal thing, the heart rate. Some of you may feel the symptoms like palpitations, dizziness, confusion, and all those different things. Some people can collapse. The complication could be stroke, a lot of things. Okay, so it is a very dreaded thing. And
including no symptoms. A lot
yeah,
of people don't even know they have it,
exactly.
and live a normal life and exercise and don't even
Yes,
know. So it's a
exactly.
wide variety. I'm sorry, I just
Exactly.
needed to say that.
Yes. No, thank you, Mark. So that's what I was coming to that. And some people just come in and out and they don't even know. Nowadays we have Apple Watch and different variables which gives alerts and all. So in this journey, typically what happens is that in traditional cardiology, blood thinners, anticoagulants to prevent the stroke, lot of procedures are advised. So I'm just going to share a little bit quickly. What I wanted to share with you is that this is something like, because many times when we go to the standard care, okay, pacemaker, ablations, these are the commonly asked things. But my main thing is that we should be spending our time in detecting it early and preventing it, because we are not opposing any procedures, but as you see that every time we see so much of issues, because once pacemakers are installed and anticoagulants, it is another merry-go-round trip of all complications. So nothing is perfect, and this is the other side of medicine which we don't know. So whenever I have dealt with atrial fibrillation into the cardiology practice, mainly you have to understand it is like fever is a symptom and there is some underlying cause. Okay, so atrial fibrillation is a symptom, and sometimes there is a coronary artery disease or a valvular disease, or there could be lot of other things which I'm going to talk about. I want to know if anybody can share about when you go to a cardiologist visit, does anybody ask you questions about your sleep, your diet, about the stress, the sympathetic nervous system? There are so many different things. Anyone wishes to share over here?
Yeah.
Yes,
My
that
cardiologist asked me those questions.
great.
She was concerned about sleep and telling me diet, don't eat so late, get to bed earlier, all these things, because I tend to be a late night person and therefore eat late.
Great, that's perfect, because that is what we want, that like when we talk about the hidden triggers, the biggest thing which is what we call the autonomic nervous imbalance, which is a sympathetic overdrive. So many people like have this kind of triggers. Okay, the food could be the trigger, alcohol could be the trigger, nicotine or vaping or any kind of marijuana or THC could be a trigger. And when I was talking about the sympathetic overdrive, some people feel that, oh, I don't have stress, but then they just want things very fast. They are not ready to wait, like it's just like anxiety, worry. And many times when I ask, especially nowadays, I'm tracking a lot, uh, especially with the food. Sometimes I have seen people like having some seafood and getting an AFib, like, so it's like hearing some bad news, hearing something. So there are so many triggers which are there. And Apple Watch Series 7 and above have been actually FDA approved, where a lot of studies have been done for AFib alert. Again, it is not accurate. You have to work with your cardiologist, but when we look into a lot of the triggers. And there is dehydration, electrolyte imbalance. There are a lot of other those things also. Many times, I don't know whether you guys are tracking into the inflammation part, because whenever inflammation is high, that also can lead to atrial fibrosis and electrical instability. Then there are gut triggers. Basically, many times there is this bloating and some food which you eat that can also cause. Uh, Sleep studies are also important because some people get sleep apnea and hypoxia, which can also lead to it. Okay, so there could be many triggers. I'm just giving you like kind of a short list, but there is a in-depth thing what we run when we are doing it. Now, the second thing which we had spoken about was that how sleep, stress, and blood sugar impact the rhythm. So basically, when we look at this aspect, now the cortisol, okay, cortisol and rhythm instability, that is a big thing, because when we have a poor sleep or we have a less sleep, then it suppresses the vagal tone and it increases the sympathetic firing, which leads to destabilizing the rhythm. And even people who have got like diabetes or pre-diabetes, many times the glucose swings basically also increases the risk. Then sometimes, like even when you don't have apnea, there are some tiny sleep interruptions which increase adrenaline. So whenever there is a adrenaline release or high blood pressure and all those kind of situations, that can also trigger Afib. And there are a lot of medications. Actually, many times we have seen medications like diuretics, steroids. So we have to go through the list also of the medication. There are common medications like antacids. Sometimes there could be some side effects related to some of the medications which you are taking. So a lot of things can actually trigger. So it requires a lot of deep dive into what is happening in your life. Yeah, so magnesium, I think we would give the number one as a key ingredient when we are talking about like taking adequate, because magnesium calms the electrical system and it improves the vagal tone. So it is one of the most evidence-based nutrients for arrhythmia control. Okay, so magnesium, then potassium, because potassium also, if it is little less, can trigger arrhythmias. Another important ingredient is omega-3 fatty acids, because all of us are eating a lot of this like oils which is omega-6, like but omega-3 fatty acids, which is the fish oil, the EPA, DHA, all those things are very important and they also need to be measured. So whenever the blood panel is done, it is worthwhile checking your EPA and a DHA level. Okay, so that is important. And one has to understand that alcohol can also increase the AFib risk. So eliminating or moderation or minimizing is the key. And that correlation can be done if you're wearing a wearable. So it is very important to track your nutrients, your sleep habits. Another indicator which you can, if you're wearing any wearable, is HRV, which is your heart rate variability. So heart rate variability is actually an indicator of longevity. So many times, like poor sleep and low HRV is also, we have seen the connection. Okay. So what is a vagus nerve? Okay, vagus nerve is a nerve which is the most important, which we call like the calming, the rest, and the digest. Like how in car we have an accelerator and a brake. We have two systems, right? To go fast and to go slow. Similarly, in our nervous system, we have got two components. One is something which will increase the heart rate. It's like when you want to run, you want to catch a bus or a train, or go somewhere fast, you need to speed up, your heart rate has to increase. So we need that sympathetic nervous system. And but most of the times we need to be calm, and that is parasympathetic, that is your brake. So vagus nerve is the one which is very, very important because many times the poor vagal tone actually can also increase the atrial fibrillation risk. And the simplest thing which we'll be doing after I finish talking is left nostril breathing to improve the vagus tone which is there. And there are a lot of things which you can do actually to improve the vagus tone, because if your slow breathing is also, is like slow breathing I always see is a medicine. We breathe so fast, so even if you do 6 breathing like in a like per minute, generally we breathe 16 to 20 times a minute, but if we learn to breathe 6 times per minute, we activate baroreceptors, we increase the HRV, and we reduce the abnormal heartbeats. Most important is that when we take care of the vagus nerve, we also control the inflammation, because vagus nerve regulates the inflammation. Okay. And most important is what I call the gut, heart, brain axis, because your gut, your heart, and your brain, they are all interconnected. So when you improve the tone, then everything sets right. Okay. So many times, like nowadays, there is a lot of things going on. I don't know whether you guys are cold plunge or just washing your face with cold water and all. The whole idea is that it actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It improves your vagal tone and it secretes good hormones, which makes you feel good. Okay. Now coming to creating your own root cause map. Okay, so if you're having this, the first thing which has to be kept in mind is you have to rule out everything structural. So whatever the cardiologist you're working at, what is the structure of your heart? Now, what do I mean by this? Like when we're talking of your heart, there is something known as echocardiogram, where we see all the 4 chambers of your heart, and then we measure actually the size of those chambers. They are very important. Many times in heart failure cases especially, we see that the left upper chamber, the left atria, is very big and dilated. Okay, the chamber has become very huge. Because when we are looking at atrial fibrillation, we also look at, sometimes it just comes and goes, okay, then you're in a good zone. But sometimes it is very persistent. In spite of medications, people do ablations, it is just there, it doesn't refuse to go. So whenever you're dealing with atrial fibrillation, the whole thing is look at the structure. Okay. Then the second thing is look at the causes of it. Like, so structurally, many times if there is a valvular thing that needs to be corrected, or if there is a coronary artery disease, that is where you have like blockages in your arteries, if that needs correction. But nowadays, what we see is a lot of people have normal structure. That is, they don't have like this like abnormal dilation in their heart or anything, but still they get these episodes. This could be a lot of triggers and lifestyle related. So all of you like to know about genetics, and then generally there, when it is in less than 50 years of age, there are certain genes which we talk about, like KCNQ1 and SCNFI. I won't go into all those things. We can do a lot of genetic things, but the main thing about atrial fibrillation is about the environment. That what is the environment you are creating around. And if we are building on these pillars of sleep, of diet, of movement, and like your stress management, where Mark is going to talk more about having connections, connecting with you yourself as a person, and being happy within, because I think our society has taught that we just have to keep on pursuing different things to be happy, but true happiness is within us. And there are a lot of things which we can do to tap into that. So connection within, and especially in my journey, I have seen that more I connect within and tap into that happiness within, I'm able to connect better outside and present myself better outside better. Okay, so these are the different pieces which are there. And lastly, I would like just summarize that the supplements which you would like to look into would be magnesium, potassium, nattokinase, vitamin D, fish oil, CoQ10, vitamin D3 with K2 is good, which is there. So these are the ones which is there, which are beneficial, and these are the things which you can track. One is like your smartphone or watch, with which you can track your sinus rhythm, and whenever your thing is going above 100, like the heart rate is going high, or you get an alert, working with your provider. High quality sleep, that's very important, at least 7 hours, 8 hours. And if you can have wearables like Aura Ring, it measures your deep sleep and REM sleep. To improve your sleep, L-theanine is very good. It helps you to improve your REM sleep and deep sleep. Then doing your exercise. If you're having any active atrial fibrillation or with medications, it is a good idea to work with your cardiologist and a cardiac rehab team to give you the heart rate zones, because we have seen that especially in athletes and marathon runners, because if you're trying to do exercise which is outside your limit, that can also trigger AFib. Then another important indicator is your HRV. So a good sleep, a good rest, breathing, this all increases your HRV. It is good to keep it above 50. Maintaining a target weight, you are ensuring that you're having adequate plant-based food, which is with full of nutrients and vitamins. Discuss with your medications, and especially as I gave you that it is also worthwhile to talk with your provider the medications you are taking, and whether those medications side effect could be atrial fibrillation, making that correlation. And keeping your blood pressure less than 130/80 is great. And then you have to focus on certain biomarkers like your lipids, your inflammatory panel, and all those things. Okay. So basically, this is like in a nutshell what we have a roadmap. You can always like dive deep, but we will open for questions so that we get time to interact with you and learn more about what you guys are actually facing, and if we can provide you some pointers to get going. Okay, all good, Mark?
This topic is both complicated and diagnostically and therapeutically. So it's a complicated thing. And right, some people like data, some people like Aura Rings and HRV. I'm not that person. And I do believe these things can all be handled. And I always think that relationship is the path, whether it's a relationship with your cardiologist, or actually, I believe primary care doctors are super helpful in this way, because again, it's back to basic. It's back to food, sleep, stress, exercise, and movement. So I guess I love what Pratiksha says. I think there's so many things we could talk about, but I agree with what Pratiksha is saying. What our audience, do you guys have specific questions, anything, or just thoughts that you'd like to share? Because I think that it's in the sharing and the learning and the growing that leads to expansion and peace. So what is our audience, what would you guys like to talk about in regard to this interesting topic?
So I will just answer one question, which is Ajay has asked, is about magnesium. So basically, I generally like there is something known as triple magnesium, because all the three components of magnesium are important. So triple magnesium is a good one. You can just take magnesium oxide, citrate like that, but magnesium threonate is also good. So like I generally recommend all the three. But it also depends on case to case, because when we do the blood panel and also, but yeah.
Wait again, phase 3, is it also include magnesium glycinate?
and threonate, because threonate crosses your blood-brain barrier.
So it is
Your oxide and pardon?
glycinate, threonate, and what was the third one?
Citrate.
Citrate. Okay.
Yeah.
Triple mag. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
triple
you.
magnesium, and that is something which will get you covered for everything.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Joseph, that's a great question. So left nostril breathing basically can be done before bedtime, can be done in the morning, because it is like, just slowing you down, because this is coming from a yogic technique. So in yoga, we have in our Western medicine, this is right nostril and left nostril. But from the yogic terms, the right nostril is Surya Nadi, which is like your activator, your sympathetic, and left side is Chandra Nadi, which is your parasympathetic. So when you close your right nostril and breathe in and breathe out through your left nostril, you're technically activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your vagus nerve. So there has been study on the PubMed that 30 rounds of left nostril breathing twice a day is known to lower your heart rate and your blood pressure naturally. So this is something which is beautiful. It doesn't cost you anything. It gives you calm, and if you can even do before sleep, it's good because it will help you to sleep better. So Joseph knows that, like, left nostril breathing and non-sleep relaxation, these are the two things which I'm big fan of. These are like no cost, beautiful gifts, which you can use it as medicine. And a lot of research has been done on this. So yes, Doug.
So that's, would you use Nadi Shodhan technique, left, right, or just?
So there is traditionally what people know in yoga in the Western world is alternate nostril breathing, which is very popular. You breathe in through the left, breathe out through the right, breathe out, that is there. So that is good. That is for calming. But I'm typically talking for lowering the heart rate and the blood pressure. And I have so many, because since I work one-on-one and in group coaching in our practice, I have so many people with atrial fibrillation episodes. Literally, they're getting an episode and they start doing left nostril breathing, and literally within few minutes, they are good, like totally better.
So when you say left nostril breathing, you're talking breathing in and breathing out.
Breathing out, yes. So it's very simple. Like, you close your right nostril.
Yeah.
You breathe in and breathe out. Okay. Now, one important thing. You're not going to hold your breath. I'm repeating, you're not going to hold your breath. Because this is what actually people do. Most of the yoga teachers or all the studios, they don't know. They are not cardiologists. Along with my cardiology, I'm also a trained teacher in yoga and meditation. So what happens is that, because when you hold your breath, actually, they tell, hold, breathe. They just shout in the studios. Like, so when you're holding your breath, actually, you're giving more pressure to your heart, which can actually aggravate your atrial, whatever, your ectopics or arrhythmias. So remember that if you are having heart failure, coronary artery disease, arrhythmias, or any kind of heart issue, never hold your breath. You just have to breathe in and breathe out, because there are 4 components of breathing. That is breathing in, holding, breathing out, and holding in suspension. Because many times they teach you like breathe out and hold, and then that creates hypoxia and again stress. So did you get it? Please, only breathing in and breathing out, no holding. Okay, that's the rule. So
at all ever, because I do some pranayama techniques that have retention and stuff in my meditation.
Yeah, so I have to say one-on-one, Doug, because since, as I told you, that when we work, we look at if someone wants to go into practices, then I look into the echoes and the overall history, because we don't want any kind of thing, breathing exercises to precipitate an event. So there are nowadays a lot of breath work is going on, and I have seen in the market almost 90% of them like kind of make you do violent breathing and all that stuff, which is not good. So it has to be very graded and regulated. Okay. So breathe, just to make it again simple, breathe in and breathe out. Okay. And if you want, you can reach out to our clinic. We have a leaflets. We can give you that out. And if anybody is interested in a deep dive consultation, also you can reach us out. We can go through your records and go more and probe more into all this. If you would be interested in looking into your data and giving you specific recommendations. So we are literally, one lady, she was like, nowadays, like, you are standing somewhere, people cut off you in the queue and we get angry. So one lady was literally doing in Rubio's in the line to calm her down, and then she literally came and told me that I was so happy because people get into AFib, people get into this high blood pressure, and things happen, right? I feel that we cannot control the behavior of other people, but we definitely can control our response, and what could that response be? Just taking it easy, and doing deep breathing or left nostril. What did Joseph say? How long to do left nostril breathing is 30 rounds. How many seconds you can hold in is your individual thing. Some people can breathe in like for 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Everybody has different capacity. So like, if you can do, I think most people can do on an average 3 to 5 seconds breathing in and 3 to 5 seconds breathing out. So that would be like kind of 6 to 7 breaths a minute. And that is wonderful because that will really break down the tone of like the speeding and the racing brain. And another resource I would like to point out is if you really feel that your brain is like racing and a lot of thoughts are coming in, there's a nice book which is You Are Not Your Thoughts by Joseph Nguyen. It's a free audiobook online on YouTube also. You can, if you don't want to buy the book. But I feel that we have lost this connection of the body, mind, and the soul, and we are just believing that we are this body, and that is actually a flaw of the Western medicine, that they keep on looking just at the body and they are trying to burn these wires, doing ablations. It's a good procedure, it helps when things are really bad, but then it comes again, and pacemakers, and again. I wish that if we can just combine this Western approach with the Eastern approach, where we know we are going into these root causes of what we are eating, how we are thinking, how is our brain behaving, what is our habits, and learn to be more calmer and learn to enjoy and feel that joy, I think we'll be in a much better phase. Because I think one of my main goals always when I like to work with people is how can we reduce the medications? Because one thing you're made to believe is that if you are on AFib medications, you have to take it for lifetime, which is not true. You can actually reduce your medications or even come out of it, but it requires work from your end. There is always like,
I'm going to talk about myself here. I was a little late. I was going to go home and be in my cozy home for this talk. Well, I didn't make it because there's a little bit of a traffic jam. So I pull off on Loma Santa Fe and the 5. So I'm looking at, right now, my view, I'm looking at the 5. And of course, the 5 north is bumper to bumper traffic. The 5 south, there's an accident on. And then I look, I'm looking at the mini mart at Mobile gas station where they charge $5 for gas. And then I'm past that, I can see Starbucks where they serve the strongest caffeinated beverage on the planet, which is the greatest stimulant. And then I look over here and there's a health food store right next to CVS. So, and I'm sitting in an intersection and the light has gone off, the light above where the police are basically getting people for going through a red light. So even when you're driving your car, you could be getting a ticket even if you're not. So I think the only question is, how is that we're not all fibrillating at all times, because the world is fully crazy. And that said, there is this other path, and we can find peace inside. We can find peace in the midst of the craziness. I do know Debbie on this call. I don't know if she's still with us, but on this call, and my friend Marie, who I love from 30 years ago, that we always talk about how to find peace in the midst of this absolutely crazy world, which is also full of wonder and incredible things. So how can we find it, hold it, stay in it, and enjoy this life fully, and use the medical system, but also be able to create our own inner strength so we can stay out of the medical system, because that might be the craziest thing of all. So, how can we be grateful for this whole wacky, wonderful life? And I don't have the answer, and I know life goes up, down, and all over. I just know that I wish everyone on this call well, and you can always text me, call me. I like to help everyone find a path in this world.
Thank you, Mark. That is so sweet message, like finding calm in chaos, you know. The whole thing about the modern medicine is like we have to understand that science is about probability. Everything what is happening is not 100% right. And what our goal is to awaken the doctor within you. Your belief creates your biology. Okay, and all of us are knowing about the placebo effect in medicine, and so many people, like, you know, they just believe that this is going to work for me and things get better, you know, and that is what is the placebo effect. So if I have seen people, because I can tell you, because I'm so grateful to India and the experiences what I had there. And I use the word maverick in the beginning because I would literally have these patients who are like having severe heart disease and they are told open heart surgeries, they won't do it. They will say, oh, I will die, but I will not do the surgery, sign the consent, treat me. And oh my God, I will work with them on lifestyle changes, medications, external counterpulsation, and they will do so freaking good. In the starting, like I was like, oh my gosh, I used to be scared, to be honest, you know, like how these guys do it. But now it has become my belief that if you truly believe that healing is within you and you want to heal yourself, and everything what you're doing is going towards your healing, trust me, even this 1 hour what you have spent with us could be truly healing, because you are right now surrounded by beautiful healing frequencies, because me and Mark, we are literally vibrating at that frequency of healing where we are constantly, our thought process is that people should stay away from hospital procedures, unnecessary medications, and we are creating that magnetic field around us. So imagine we are creating this movement. That's why we want to work with people who are resonating and vibrating at that frequency, because as you will be connecting more with these healing frequencies, you will see that automatically you will be healing, you know. That is so important. So your quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life, you know, because, and that is never discussed actually in the medicine thing. I feel cardiology is so much of fear. You don't do this procedure, you die. You don't do this, you die. You do this, you die. Okay, okay. It's always like, okay. And then if we do this procedure, then also there are complications and death, right? So it's individual call. If it is required, it is required. But the main focus here is that how can you take responsibility for your own health? Does it make sense what I'm saying? Cool. Any other questions?
How long did you say to do the left nostril breathing for?
30 rounds twice
30.
daily. 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
30 breaths.
30 breaths. So if you count like 6 breaths a minute, it literally takes you 5 minutes. You can do it anywhere.
But even if you do 10 breaths, you've
Yeah,
done
just start
something
with 5,
good.
10. Yeah, exactly. Just do what you can. Yeah. Yes, Karen?
So I'm assuming that since that will lower your blood pressure, your heart rate, that would help someone that has maybe a panic attack or anxiety as well. I'm
Yeah.
assuming, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's basically improves your vagal tone. And sometimes like, like there is this carotid massage. If there is like a very tachycardia going on and someone has literally like 130, 140 heart rate and before you call 911 and before someone comes in, you can always do a carotid massage, just here so that there is a carotid sinus and you just like keep on doing like this, especially when people have tachycardia, like it just comes down because these are all the things which we use. Because I must have done more than 30, because many people I have seen here actually get heart attack on treadmill, or some people are even collapsing on treadmill. And I have done more than 30,000 treadmills and nobody has collapsed or nothing has happened. It's the way you do it. And only one time I had one episode where one person had something happen and I immediately like just did like this because the heart rate had gone very high. And just within like minutes, the person became better.
So is that the same spot? Because I know when my kids were little and they started getting ear aches, I would rub that gland down to release. Is that the same area or is it in front? I wasn't sure where you're
The
rubbing.
carotid arteries are here. And the best way would be that if you're really having all these issues, it is better to talk to your provider, because our goal here is just to give you pointers towards the resources, but we don't, I mean, what is there in your individual condition, we don't know. So we are just giving you little certain ideas of what helps during things. So you can always please check with your provider for any of your particular situation. So another thing which we do to improve the vagus tone is breathe in and so that is like when you're breathing out, you're making sound in your throat. So that is humming. So this improves your vagus tone and it calms you down. Some people it works, some people they don't like it. So as I told you that you all have to see what is helping you. If it is helping you, it is great. Another thing which also helps to improve your vagus tone and is straw breathing. You breathe in and as if you blow out of straw like this. So you breathe in. Oh my God, I feel so calm, like you feel very calm because these are all, as your vagus tone improves, you feel very calm. And then in yoga, we do the Om thing, like where you breathe in and when you breathe out, Om. So this is like a mantra. It's like a vibration.
A very long breath.
Yeah, very, very, very. It's like a mantra. It's like it just calms you down because it's a little long exhalation. So it is just like kind of calming you down. So there are a lot of things which you can do which are natural and can be done. So I'll just a little bit tell you about our practice. At CoCardio, our goal is detect, protect, connect. We detect the hidden risk early. We protect the circulation and arteries naturally. Connect deeply within your source to activate the healing. That's the focus of our practice. So that is what we focus on, heart screening for early detection. Just go next. We offer 2D echocardiograms and all those things. And then next, we offer a technique which is external counterpulsation technique, which is EECP, which is a US FDA approved device for improving circulation. This is how it is. We tie the cuffs and then the blood supply goes to the heart. We monitor it with the EKG. What it does is basically it's one session is like 1 hour and it is improving, like it's like Mark calls it the rebirthing machine. It improves the blood supply to the whole, like your kidneys, your heart, your brain. So this is what we do. And if you see here, this is like a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. So what we are technically doing, as you're seeing here, we are building and growing new arteries in your heart, because as we age, our arteries become stiff and stiffened with calcification and all that, and we are growing the collaterals, and this is how we renew the heart. So this is what we are doing at our clinic, which for preventive purposes. So what does this therapy do is basically it increases nitric oxide, because nitric oxide is one of the biggest indicators for deteriorating arterial health. And all the reasons which I spoke, there's inflammation and all the things which are required, the nutrients for the heart. When we are doing this circulation, it goes to 60,000 miles of arteries of your heart. And that is what we are doing here. So this is what you see that like if you see here, and you have to take nitric oxide rich diet. That is very important, because endothelial dysfunction and internal lining not being strong is there. So we as we age, we lose a lot of nitric oxide. We talk of plant-based powerhouses. So like beet juice is very important for improving your nitrates. Dark leafy greens, which are also high in nitrates. Pomegranates are good to boost nitric oxide. Then citrus fruits, berries, then healthy fats and nuts, like walnuts, almonds, olive oil, fatty fish. So this is what are good for you. Of course, you have to work on the quantities, not in excess. You have to move more in whatever way you can. Every 1 hour, if you can move little, it's great, because it's not about just doing 30 minutes of walk, but just being more active. As I told you that just connect with people around, connect with the joy within you. That's very important. And just next, so what we will do is that we are going to send you that email. If anybody wishes to associate with us further in terms of doing your analysis or diving deep into your own journey, more than welcome to go through. Or you can just cheer us up in our events, whatever works for you guys. Thank you. And thank you, Marlene. Beautiful message. And we are also grateful for all of you here. Remember that me and Mark are very passionate about breaking the status quo in healthcare. So we are not just running a clinic, but your participation means a lot, because we really want to have these case studies and miracles where people are breaking free from procedures, medications, and taking charge of their health. So thank you so much, and hope to see you guys soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.